At this moment, we are privileged to have Congressman Tom Marino with us. He is certainly busy this time of year, but rearranged his schedule in order to be here in support of religious freedom, and we couldn't be more grateful. Please join me in welcoming Congressman Marino to speak.
Good afternoon. It's an honor to be here today. I did rearrange my schedule and for this because I thought this was so critically important. And I want to address what I consider to be the constitutional issues. I think you all know that I am very, very pro-life. My two beautiful children are adopted. I can remember, they are 17 and 13 now, and I remember the day just like it was yesterday when I brought them home from the hospital, the day after they were born. So they are the two greatest reasons and beliefs why I am very, very pro-life. I'm going to refer to some statements that have been made recently, and I've looked up quite a few articles and ad-libbed quite a bit about what my position is. But I'm going to start out with a heading that I saw in the news. Archbishops say contraceptive requirement infringes religious freedom. And that's what this is about. This goes directly to violating our First Amendment rights, not only as Catholics, but as people who make a determination how we want to practice a religion, or even if we do not want to practice a religion. The federal government has no business in this. Archbishop Thomas Wensky of Miami filed a lawsuit against the federal government recently, and this was in the Sun Centennial on October 19th of this year, against the government's requirement for religious groups to provide contraceptives, charging that the mandate violates the constitutional freedom of our religion, the premise of what I just stated a moment ago. And he said, I am defending religious freedom for the Catholic Church and its many ministries. He went on to further state that the mandate jeopardizes our freedom to serve in a way congruent to our consciousness and the moral teachings of our faith, what we each believe in our heart to be our way of practicing our religion. The government has no right interceding any way whatsoever, saying what they believe that right should be or what that right is not. The framers of the Constitution determined well over 200 years ago what those rights were. And we abide by those today. The Obama administration issued standards for health care insurers mandating to provide contraceptives to their clients. Fine, if they want to issue these mandates, but they can't not cross the First Amendment religion line to do this. And that's what Mr. Obama is doing. He thinks he can hand out executive orders at any time he feels like it. Now, the Supreme Court made a ruling. I do not agree with that ruling, but it's the law of the land. And as an attorney, as a member of the court, and as a congressman, I have to accept that. It doesn't mean that we cannot do anything about it. But when we first took Congress, sworn in 2011, the very first thing that we did was we voted in the House and we repealed Obamacare. And we did it a second time. And what we're going to do again, we're going to repeal it again when we get back. Now, the issue is, of course, the other side wouldn't have anything, the Senate wouldn't have anything to do with voting on it because there are still many bills that they're not voting on. But in addition to the 2 times of repealing Obamacare completely, we have dismantled 37 other parts of it on 37 different votes. So we are taking this very, very seriously. The bishops have said that it would force them to pay for sterilization and abortion-inducing drugs. They're right. That's what Obamacare does. That's how far this is overreached. All the products are against Roman Catholic teachings. The lawsuit accuses them of violating the Establishment, Free Speech, Free Exercise Clause of the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. It also charges the government with violating the Federal Religious Freedom Restoration Act. I mean, there are violations, in my opinion, and in the bishop's opinion, and I'm sure in yours, all over the place. The legal action follows those of about 50 other Catholic organizations. Now, here's the key. You know, the administration says, well, we're not forcing the churches to do anything. And it's just Mr. Obama's arrogant way of splitting hairs and using words in different meanings the way that will suit him. The 50 other Catholic organizations can include schools the Catholic churches are affiliated with, charities, hospitals, and other dioceses filed over the last 6 months seeking to reach an overturn of this federal mandate. We know that didn't work, but we're going to handle that when we get back into Washington after the first of the year. The bishop went on to say, we're trying to protect ourselves from the violation of, now listen to this, the state is trying to dictate to the church how we practice our faith. This we cannot allow to stand. Publicly, we cannot allow it to stand, and back in Congress, we cannot allow this to stand. One more article I want to bring to your attention. The IBD editorials posted on October 15th of this year. The leaders of the vice president's church are calling him out for denying the Affordable Care Act, I refer to it affectionately as Obamacare, threats to religious liberty and the institutions that provide needed social services. You know, needing social services is one thing, our religion is another thing. As they noted in our post-debate analysis, the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops were not amused with Mr. Biden's other great debate lie that Obamacare doesn't threaten religious liberty of the ability of churches, particularly the Catholic Church, to put their faith in action. As Cardinal Donald Wuerl, Archbishop of Washington, recently said on Fox News Sunday, we object to what they consider the unprecedented attempt by the Obama administration to define what a church and religious institution is. We Catholics, Christians, all faiths around the world and in this country, we know what our religions are. We do not need the U.S. government, the federal government, and the Obama administration to tell us what they are. So in closing, I can tell you that I am committed to seeing that Obamacare is repealed for numerous reasons. But at the top of that list is, as a Roman Catholic, I do not want any form of government, and I will fight it to the death, telling me what I can do with religion, particularly concerning contraception and my beliefs as a Roman Catholic, and I commit to you, I will not end this fight until we win. Thank you so very much.